I'm Sarah Blackburn, editor of Edible Boston, and this is Behind the Issue. Our quarterly magazine is Greater Boston's only publication dedicated to local food and the people who make it. We choose one topic per season and take you behind the scenes to bring its story to life. For our spring 2019 issue, we wanted to focus on seafood seasonality. What's in season in spring? Turns out it's squid. To see how this abundant local resource goes from the ocean to our plates, I meet up with Jared Auerbach, owner of Boston's Red's Best, a wholesaler and seafood aggregator.
I haven't seen you forever, man.
He and his crew are down on the docks in Woods Hole, waiting for the last of the squid trawling boats to come in. With the tail of the season just around the corner, boats arrive from near and far, one by one, filled to the brim with squid.
So these boats all have different origins. Some of them are from the Cape and some are from New Bedford and Maine.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So if you look around, there's all these like little draggers. They're all like, I mean, you see the fishing crews are maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 guys per boat.
And they come down here for a few weeks
everybody
to just
sort of
get the
congregates
squid
here
done.
for the squid season.
And we're post Memorial Day now, so you're hitting the end of this part of the season.
This is coming to an end. Squid fishing in Massachusetts is primarily late April through May, maybe a week in June.
And they don't have to go out very far. They kind of hug the coast a little bit to do this?
I mean, we can talk to the guys. You know, they'll never tell me exactly where they're fishing. I mean, you can see them when you're taking the ferry to Nantucket. Look out. You see all the little draggers that look like these guys. That's them. They're squid fishing this time of year.
So the squid comes in big nets, but what else comes in with the squid? It wouldn't just be squid.
So it depends on the day, but really what's cool about our local fisheries is we have lots of different species of fish in our waters, and you know, we don't know what we're gonna catch, right? The mystery, the kind of unknown is I think what draws a lot of us to this industry. When the fishermen bring the fish in, it's our job at Red's Best to find a home for the fish.
So everything that they bring in, you're gonna end up selling it?
Everything they bring in, we're gonna sell, yeah. So,
well, in a lot of ways, what you're doing sustainability-wise is sustaining the livelihoods of these fishermen.
That's what we're doing, right?
And that's the most important part.
That's it. So right now, we got a bunch of guys here to unload. A lot goes into keeping really, really high quality squid. This sort of Northwest Atlantic loligo or longfin squid is like one of, if not the best squid in the world. You know, we're exporting it all over the planet, selling all over the country. This is in high demand. How we take care of it and how these guys take care of it really matters. There's a lot of people involved. I mean, we're already working on homes for this squid. We're already matching supply and demand.
And that happens every day.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
As dusk falls on the harbor, I leave Jared and his crew to pack the trucks and head north. In the next few days, the boat captains will change their nets and head back out to sea, now in search of groundfish, like black sea bass, flounder, and scud. The next morning, I head over to Red's Best on Boston's Fish Pier, a location bustling with activity and filled with every type of New England seafood you can imagine. And here's that shiny, bright-eyed squid getting washed and sorted, weighed and packed for market. Some will be frozen and shipped overseas, but increasingly, squid's being kept fresh and whole and sold to fishmongers and chefs all across New England. But how many of us really seek out squid to cook at home? It's a dish we eat at restaurants all the time. Crunchy fried golden rings of calamari are on almost every menu. But there have got to be other ways to cook it. If we should be eating more squid to support this local fishery, we're going to need to break out the braising pan and fire up the grill. I paid a visit to Jeremy Sewall, squid expert and chef owner of Island Creek Oyster Bar and Row 34 here in Boston, and asked him to develop some interesting home-cook-friendly squid recipes. Jeremy, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
I like to cook at home. I love to cook seafood. But for squid, I've really only ever grilled it or deep fried it. What can we tell home cooks about squid and why they should be eating more of it?
You know, in the springtime, it's really available. And one, it's not super expensive, so it's a fun thing to kind of experiment with. And it goes across many cuisines, you know, Southeast Asia, Italian, Mediterranean, all of these cuisines have squid recipes, and it's part of their kind of culture and things that they eat. So there's so much stuff that you can do with it.
How does a general home cook go to a fishmonger and find squid that's caught here in our local waters?
You have to make sure that you're going to a dependable fishmonger, someone who sells a lot of fish, sells a lot of different fish. And what you want is dirty squid. And dirty squid refers to squid that is still whole. When we see squid, or you know, even if it's marked as calamari, people kind of envision this snow white tube or cut into rings and the tentacles. Well, it's a live, wild seafood swimming in the ocean, and when it comes out, it needs to be clean. So you lay the squid on a cutting board, and then the first thing I do is remove the tentacles. So I cut just below the eyes, and I remove the tentacles. It should come off in one nice piece. Now it has two really long kind of tentacles that hang off and hang really low. Those are really usually thin and sometimes a little stringy. I'll trim those off because we don't really use those. They cook differently than the rest of it. And then the body, start in the back with the long fins along the side, peel the fin back, and as you're peeling the fin back, the outer skin starts to come with it. It's like a membrane that covers the entire body. And that should just kind of all peel off in one or two pieces fairly easy. From there, you're kind of looking at an ivory or a dull white tube of squid. And then I take the back of a knife and I start at the tip towards the opening, and I push slowly all of the innards and the guts and the inside of the squid. And then I'll just kind of pull. There's a long kind of vertebrae or kind of membrane that runs the length of the tube of the squid that's kind of like its spine, and that'll pull out really easy in one piece. It kind of looks fake. It's clear and kind of plastic looking, but you got to make sure you pull that out in one piece. And then from there, I'll cut the tip off just so I can rinse it out. And then you have the tentacles, you have the tubes, whether you cut them or leave them whole. They're ready to go.
Should we go cook some?
Absolutely.
Back in the kitchen, Chef Sewall and his team braise, grill, sauté, and boil the freshly cleaned squid, creating 4 easy, unique recipes that any home cook could make. A smoky, char-grilled warm squid salad tossed with tender chickpeas and an olive and orange vinaigrette. A sunny Mediterranean dish of fresh rigatoni with braised squid, tomatoes, garlic, and lots of basil. Fiery red fresh homemade chorizo stuffed into plump little squid tubes and grilled, dressed with tomatillo and cilantro sauce over golden yellow Mexican-style rice. And tender poached squid salad, tossed with coconut lime dressing, pickled chili, mint, and toasted sesame seeds. So ask your fishmonger to bring in fresh, local, dirty squid, then take it home and clean it yourself. Find Chef Sewall's squid story and recipes, as well as a step-by-step photo guide of the squid breakdown, at edibleboston.com, and enjoy this local seafood.